Namaskar, viewers. Welcome to another episode of Infinite Possibilities with Pradeep Gupta, brought to you by Mana TV International. I hope you all had enough time to absorb what was shared with you last week. Let me remind you all in our previous episode, we discussed why people consciously or subconsciously lie, how they define their own reality, which may be different from the truth. We looked at the way we evolve and how we start to feel the need to either question or invent it for ourselves. We also distinguished between the person and the personality. So we want to continue that conversation today. But before we continue, I just want to again tell you all that our program is not about challenging your beliefs, but just offering a new perspective. So please listen with an open mind. And now I want to welcome Victor, who is going to lead us forward. Hello, Victor.
Hi,
Welcome
Pradeep.
again. Welcome to
Yeah,
Infinite Possibilities. We're
yeah.
really excited to have you here again, Victor. Before we continue the conversation, though, I just want to share where you left us off last time with that slide of the matrix, the existence matrix that you had. So if you don't mind, I will just share with our viewers that slide. So this is where we left us off, right? Last time, our viewers were looking at this, and we created the protection and the creation on the x-axis here, and the unconscious versus conscious on the y-axis. And we saw how from personality to person, we started with defining a fake reality and ultimately ended up inventing reality. So I want to start this conversation from this point onward and see where we could actually evolve, what could be the created possibilities, and share that with our viewers.
I would like to begin by saying, Pradeep, that the created possibilities are infinite. It kind of matches with your show. It is the created possibilities are infinite. Infinite possibilities.
Infinite possibilities. Yep. I like that, Victor.
Now, see the possibility matrix, or rather the created matrix. We don't challenge this whole thing. Uh, there is going to be protection, and the world of blame is going to be there. It's going to be there. You need to acknowledge that. And then there is going to be the duality of the world of creation, where you and I take responsibility. That is going to be there. There is the personality and there is the person. That duality exists. There is the unconscious life and the conscious life. That duality exists. Uh, but within this duality, what is possible? That is what we're going to be looking at, Pradeep. It is interesting to ask this question: how do I define reality? I'm going to say something which will probably take the ground off our feet, but fundamentally, to define a reality, you need some resentment and some anger. Somewhere where you say, this is not enough, this is not good enough, I'm not good enough, I need to get better. You have a resentment with yourself, resentment with people, resentment with society. It is so automatic for us to have some kind of a resentment or the other. And an anger with what is right and what is wrong, and you're dealing with it, and you see people lie, you begin to lie, and you're so unconscious because you're justified about it. You're justified about your resentment, you're justified about your anger, and that's what you start noticing and becoming aware has defined your reality. There is such much, this is so much at the foundation of defining somebody's reality. There are other things also which define the appreciation, the rewards, the benefits, but at the root is a compensation for that anger and a compensation for that resentment. And you and I want to come out of this. You and I want to come out of this. We don't want to stay in this. By the time we come into adulthood, he says, I don't want to do this. And what do? Because we are still in the protection and the personality, and we are evolving beyond this defined reality. Actually, what happens is either we become rebellious or suppressed. And we call it creativity, we call it going beyond, or sometimes some people just say against the flow, out of the box. But basically, you and I want to rebel or we want to suppress. We adhere by suppressing ourselves, or confirm by suppressing ourselves, or we challenge it and we rebel against what is the norm. And we are like this, and we are saying, yeah, I will. So that evolving reality where you and I are conscious of our life, we end up rebelling or suppressing us. This is funny because while you do all this and you are trying to bring about that change, or you are trying to adhere and conform, you are still not happy. There is a dissatisfaction. You are still living with, but this has not made me happy. I challenged everything, but I rebelled against the norm, but I'm not happy. Or you suppress yourself and you keep saying that I adhered, I confirmed, but I'm feeling so suppressed. I'm feeling claustrophobic. I feel as if somebody has just held my voice. Something like that you feel. Uh, and at that time, you can begin a reflection. And where you can take responsibility for what you've been doing. And that questioning reality phenomena brings that reflection and forgiveness. You reflect and you discover that so much of your worldview is based on your own anger and your own resentment. That first moment of telling the truth to yourself. Now, here is where this is not reality, but telling the truth. Here is where I'm going to make a statement. You know why people lie? People lie because they are searching for the truth. They are
Wow.
hoping that someone will tell the truth because I don't know the truth. And when we can guide people to say it's okay to have lied, that is human, but create that safe space where people can acknowledge their lies to others and to themselves.
That is so
And that
beautiful.
you reflect, Pradeep. And then there's a state where you have forgiveness to say, yeah, forgive me for lying. I knew that much only. And I saw benefits and rewards in that. But today I'm taking responsibility and I'm creating a new reality for myself. But I begin with asking forgiveness and forgiving people. I let go of my anger, I let go of my resentments, which I was not aware of, and find expression for myself. I begin to accept that, yeah, I have lied and I have told the truth, and I am now aware of it. I'm not saying you and I will stop lying. There are moments where it is better to have lied than to have told the truth. But are you conscious of it? And you accept and say, yeah, I will have this duality of lying and telling the truth. But I am not going to make the lie the truth and say this is the truth. That I am not going to do. And in that moment where you are taking the call and being responsible and saying, uh, I'm not going to call the lie the truth. I'm not going to fake it anymore. You have gratitude for your own existence. Then the world view changes, that you have gratitude to people. Because when you are like that, people stop lying to you. People see you as a safe space. And people are vulnerable. People are genuine with you. They are authentic with you. And you have gratitude that now people treat you differently. You have gratitude to the self, gratitude to others, and gratitude to the world in general, because this became possible in this world. A worldview of moving from blame to responsibility became possible. And with that gratitude and acceptance, you and I invent reality. That reality invention becomes possible. And I can want to grant one thing. Every person has the right to invent their reality when they come from responsibility. Because anyway, when blame and protection is happening, you and I are defining reality. Only thing is, there you and I are separate with people. But here, when you invent reality, when it comes from gratitude and acceptance, it's a created one, and you are one with people, and you are coming from responsibility of who you are rather than the personality that manifested out of your anger, resentment, rebellion, and suppression. That is what is the beauty of it.
So I think, Victor, before you move on, I just want to make sure that everybody understands this. We basically are trying to distinguish the person from the personality. I think that is the biggest goal. We kind of talked about that in the last episode also, how once we separate the personality from the person, we were able to actually question the reality and invent it. And now I see the same pattern evolving here also. So the moment we look in personality, we are looking at anger, resentment, suppression, rebellion, all those kind of things. But the moment we discard the personality or kind of just take it away from us and come out as a genuine person that we are, and that's where we start looking inwards, we reflect, we forgive, and then we start accepting others as well as ourselves for who we are. And that's where the real gratitude comes.
Beautiful, beautiful, Pradeep. I would just like to add one thing. You don't have to discard the personality, but you can acknowledge the personality as distinct from the person. Acknowledgement of the duality. Because the personality is not going to disappear, but you can be aware that that is the personality and this is the authentic me. And the personality may be required in some places, but that is not me. And that is critical. Rather than saying, that was the personality, I'm going to discard it, and now this is it. That's again invalidating something about your own self.
That makes a lot of sense.
Acknowledging and saying, I accept this is also me, and this is also me.
That is very important actually. I'm glad that you distinguish that there is duality and we have to accept the duality the way it is. We have to be the person that we are and still be okay to accept our personality as what it is. Wow. That is
Beautiful,
so
beautiful.
deep. That is really deep, Victor.
I like the way you always summarize it and bring it. I think sometimes I'm going to reverse the roles and say, I like that role better. Pradeep, you do the summary.
See, my
I feel
job is very easy, Victor. You explain it so well, and I mean, I'm always amazed at the perspective that you give. I'm sure our viewers feel the same way too, because again, these are things that we all do without realizing. In everyday life, we are probably all doing exactly this, but nobody ever stopped and paid attention to the patterns that evolve from there. But you have taken the time to not just observe the patterns, but you have analyzed them, you have documented them, and now you're sharing it with such perspective that is really, really so. We feel really fortunate that we have you on our show here, and we are able to hear your views and your perspectives. I'm sure our viewers feel the same way. So,
how
but
long you're going to feel fortunate, Pradeep. After some time, your viewers are going to come and say, this guy is always throwing us off the ground. He's pulling the ground off our feet. Sometimes let's do some happy things. In this awareness, it says,
we
okay, let's have some fun or something like that. I don't know how
we
to
will
hold.
have fun. We are having fun, I'm sure, but Victor, a lot of times we need to hear these kind of things because nobody is going to tell us these things. Our family members will not tell us this, maybe because they themselves are not aware of these patterns. Our elders probably did not tell us, that's why we did not know. There is nobody, and we are all adults. We are at a point where nobody tells us these things, right? So I'm actually sure that our viewers would share this opinion with me that we are fortunate to have somebody like you give us all these different perspectives, because that's what this program is all about, giving new perspective and creating possibilities. That's why infinite possibilities. So really, really very happy to have you here and hear you. Is there anything else you want to build from this matrix, Victor?
The one thing that I want to do before I have something to conclude on the show, uh, something I just want to say is have compassion for your own life. Don't make yourself right and wrong. Acknowledge that you lie. Become more and more conscious of our own life. Uh, because out there are a lot of people who lie just because they don't know whether it is safe to say the truth. But the moment you are in a place where you can say that it's safe to say the truth, I'm listening, we and I can begin to have a world which is more authentic and more genuine. And that possibility lies with each of us to make that available for people. And people are so happy because they got a place where they could tell the truth uh, according to them. That experience of being genuine, authentic, I think that's our responsibility. That's your responsibility, Pradeep. That's my responsibility. And possibly the responsibility of our viewers to take that on for the sake of people, for the sake of humanity.
Victor, I'm really actually very happy that you did not say lying is wrong or lying is a sin or anything of that sort. You basically saying it's okay, it's human to lie. I think at some point you said that if you choose not to be conscious of your lying, then you are living in a world of escape and you could feel like a victim. But if you choose to be conscious of your lying, it's okay to be lying, but as long as you are conscious, then you live in a world of freedom. So I want to share that one screen with our viewers, and I'm gonna leave it at that for this episode. I think that kind of sums up everything that you have been talking about, Victor. To lie is human. To be unconscious of your lying is evil, but to redeem yourself of your lies is divine. I think that pretty much sums up what you have been teaching us in this session.
Yeah, this could be a little deep, but yeah, Pradeep, to be unconscious of your life is evil. You and I should not get away saying I was unconscious of it. And yeah, to redeem yourself of your lies is divine. Yeah, and that divinity exists in all of us. As much as the evil exists in all of us, the divinity exists. The possibility of divinity unquestionably exists in each one of us, in the hearts of every human being. That possibility of divinity exists.
Victor, thank you so much. You have once again given us a new perspective on something as simple as lying, and I'm sure our viewers got a lot of value in this conversation. And I would like to hear from them. So, viewers, please write to us at the email ID below and share your comments, your feedback, your experience, whether you agree, don't agree. Either way, we would love to hear from you. And also tell us what you would like to hear from us in upcoming episodes. So, with that, thank you, Victor, for joining us today. We look forward to having you on our next episode with yet another stimulating subject. And viewers, thank you for watching. We'll be back here with another episode of Infinite Possibilities brought to you by Mana TV International. Till then, have a wonderful time. Namaste.